Hi, my name is John Beyer, and in this little video we're going to explore the Microsoft Office button. The Microsoft Office button is one of the characteristics of the Office 2007 suite. You'll find the button, which is located in the upper left-hand area of the screen, present in PowerPoint, Excel, Word, Publisher, and all the other Microsoft Office 2007 applications. As I click on the button, you'll see that this is where Microsoft has put all the commands that used to be in the File pull-down menu in previous versions of the software. As you can see, we have New, Open, Save, Save As, Print, and Close. We also have some new options such as Prepare, Send, and Publish. In addition to our commands, we also have an area over here where the most recently created or modified documents are placed. Currently, the default for this is 17 documents. So, for example, if you want to have fewer documents in this area, you can go into the Word options and set the number of recent documents to 5 or 7. Or if you want more than 17, which is the default, you can do that too. Now, as you can see, the documents have on the right hand side of them little push pins, which means that if you click on one of these push pins, it makes it so that that document does not disappear when newer documents are opened and created. So if you want to continually have a document displayed that you're working on, let's say for a couple of weeks or something, you can click this push pin and it will remain on this list. To get it off the list, you just click that push pin again, and it then will recycle out of this queue as more documents are added to it. Down at the bottom, you'll also see that we have the Exit Word button, which is equivalent to the little X in the upper right-hand portion of the screen. And we also have the Word options, which have been placed here. And of course, the Word options give you the capability of configuring Word or PowerPoint or Excel the way you want it. Now, you will also see that along with the name of the document, you have the extension. And Microsoft Office 2007 and 2010 have a new extension in which they add an X to the end of the extensions from previous versions of the software. In Word's case, we know that the extension earlier was the .doc extension. Now, with Office 2007 and 2010, they have incorporated a new extension called docx. In PowerPoint, it's PPTX. In Excel, it's XLSX. They've added this X to the end of the extension. And what this means is that there's a new file format, an XML format, that the files are now stored in, which means that they can now incorporate the new features of the applications that the old extensions cannot do. So if you create something in Word and it includes one of the new features like Smart Art, you cannot save that in the old extension because the older version of Word doesn't recognize or understand what these new features are that are available in Office 2007 and 2010. So we can look at our documents and recognize before we even bring them in whether they are in the new format or whether they're in the old format. The old format again being the .doc, the new format being the docx format. And as you can see, if you look at the top menu bar or title bar up here, it'll tell you if you're using the new file formats. In this case, it says video doc.docx, which means it incorporates some of the new features that are in Office 2007. So let's take a look at some of the other options that we have. We're familiar with New and Open, Save. Save As now gives us a few more options. The first one, Word document, is when we want to save it in the new format. So clicking this particular option we'll save it as a .doc file. We can also create a document and save it in the old 2003 format. This would be for if you wanted to take a document and give it to a colleague or a friend or someone who has an older version of the software. We also have a new option in which was not available in previous versions of the software, and that is to save it as a PDF file so that people who do not have Word can look at a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation or whatever by simply getting the Adobe Reader, which is free from Adobe Systems. Our print option is pretty much the same. We can print as we normally do with all the options of setting the number of pages, the orientation of the horizontal or vertical, and all those other characteristics. We can do a quick print, which sends it directly to the printer, or we can do our old print preview to see what it looks like before we actually print it. We have a new option called Prepare, which has a number of selections that we can choose. One of them is that we can encrypt our document so that you need a password to view or edit it. We can also add a digital signature to it. And we also have the ability to run a compatibility checker. And what a compatibility checker does, it looks at the document and it determines whether there will be any issues if somebody opens it in a previous version of the software. Now there's some other option here which you may or may not use, and you can explore these on your own. Let's take a look at the Send option. This is a new feature also, and it allows you to take the document that you're working on and directly do things like put it as an email message in Notes. So the people who installed Word on our computers realize that we don't have Outlook or Outlook Express and have configured it so that if we click on this option right here, it will place the document in an email message as an attachment. So when we click on this, it'll immediately launch us into Notes, and we will have that attachment already attached to the document or message that we want to send. We can also, instead of attaching it as a DOCX or DOC extension, that is a Word extension, we can also create an Adobe email in a PDF format. We have some other options here which I think you need some additional capabilities such as internet fax to use. So we now have the ability to very easily attach something to an email message without having to go in and open Lotus Notes and then click the little paper clip and then go searching for a file to attach it to our email message. I think the main thing associated with this is to realize that we still have most of the same features. We have a few additional options, and that if you want to change any of the characteristics of the working environment of Word or PowerPoint or whatever, you go into the options area. So as you can see, Microsoft Office has incorporated this new Microsoft Office button in the Office 2007 suite. It's interesting to note that in the Office 2010 suite, they have done away with the Office button and decided to put a tab called File, and it is, I guess, what most people wanted after having worked with Office 2007's button. So I hope this video has been helpful, and at least now you know that when you create a document where those file commands are located.